interrupt you for a moment and just ask how you first got interested in computing.
Mostly on account of people coming on stage and saying, I'm a computer programmer, you know, when I was doing my act. And I thought, crikey, the whole world is going computer mad, and I was reading about them in papers. I'd best find out about them. So for 18 months or so, I bought every magazine there was on the market, because that was my principle on everything. If I want to buy hi-fi, I buy every hi-fi mag. If I want to buy cameras, I buy every camera mag. I find out what is happening in the camera world, then I buy a camera that suits me. So for 18 months, I read every computer magazine, and at the end of 18 months, I thought to myself, well, it's a foreign language, it's all gobbledygook. I don't think at that stage there was a magazine on the market that was writing for people who wanted to know about computers. They were all writing for people who already knew. So I literally walked into a shop one day, it was on Guernsey, and I said, look, I've had it, I can't understand it, there's £1,000, give me a computer, and I'll take it home and maybe I'll take it apart, but I'll find out what it's all about, this computer world. So I think I was lucky. I really was. I own an Atari 800. Because the massive problem with all of this is that it's not written for ordinary people, and it's a shame. I think they miss out on massive marketing. Not just Atari, I'm talking about BBC, I'm talking about any of them, any of the popular makes. The magazines and the manuals are completely non-understandable. It's gobbledygook. To be honest with you, the best book that I found on the whole business was yours, which breaks my heart to have to tell you. It was 30-Hour Basic by the BBC, which became my sort of manual, much more so than the Atari books. I read this, and it was written simply. And it's not just for your computer, of course, which is a big advantage. So, as I say, I don't understand why they write them in all the weird language.
You do much programming?
It is fun to do that. And I also found that a nice, easy way to learn was to, in fact, get a magazine. There are several magazines particularly for this, just as there are magazines particularly for the BBC computer and for Sinclair computer. All those have their own house magazines almost. And what I found was the best way was to type the first line of the program and then type run, which makes the machine work. If you haven't got a computer, it makes it work, and see what happened on the screen. Because the other thing that people don't realise is you can't break them. I mean, people are scared of them. They think, oh, what happens if I short it out or something? And you can't. The worst you can do is wipe out its memory that you've typed in. No big deal there, unless you're on line 1655,000. But then I'd type the next line and see what happened then, and then I'd type the next line, and then I learned what the commands meant. That was the best way for me to learn.
What do you see yourself doing in the future?
Well, I think I'll probably stay with this. I want to get more interested in making it activate other things around the house. And although that'll be my real house, this is sort of a summer place. And I said that in the I.O. magazine, which is an Atari thing, and a chap called Ken Frampton was very kind to me and sent me this, which is, I mean, when you look at it in terms of what it does, isn't a very long program at all. But that activates all the little plugs on the back of the interface. So that's half gobbledygook and half simple language. And it's a burglar alarm system, and it's got my own code to activate it and set it up, and then anybody standing on pressure pads around the house you can switch lights on, it'll activate a videotape player to make it say, you know, what the hell are you doing here, and frighten him. So that's exciting, and I want to play more with that. I've also written an adventure game, which, well, it's a bit more than that actually. It's called Paul Daniels' Magic Adventure, and it'll be on the market hopefully by this Christmas.
Would it be possible for us to see a bit of the game?
You want, what, to see a bit of the adventure? No, it's top secret.
The lives getting very competitive when magicians start writing software. You never know what